So, here you go, the Doolittle raid. This is one of the things I really don't like about America is their distorted view of military history. So this is all perfectly accurate, of course. April 1940, so it's only 3 months or something after, 4 months after Pearl Harbor. 16 B-25 bombers were stacked on there, and they were basically the biggest aircraft that you could take off from this thing, the heaviest bombers you could get, and there were only 16 of them, and if I remember rightly they had 1-ton bomb loads. From the deck of the carrier, what it didn't say is they bumped into the Japanese, and it was a fishing boat, but it still sent out the warning that there were enemy carriers around. And Doolittle, they took off immediately. A daring raid? Yeah, definitely. Hitting targets, scoring a huge victory. Now this bit is sort of bollocks. The only victory it was is morale, in that America had nowhere near the material to actually counter Japan on a military level in the Pacific. And so the only thing that they could do was essentially symbolic. This was a symbolic attack. 25 bombers carrying a bomb each. And you got to bear in mind that by the time America had Iwo Jima and the such like, they were launching 1,000 bomber raids carrying 10 tons of bombs apiece. So this is 16 versus later raids, which were 10,000. Anyway, so that gives you and just to put 16 tons of bombs into perspective, calorifically, a ton of fuel has about the same calorific value as a ton of explosives, and your typical airplane, big airplane, will have 50 tons of fuel on it. So they really weren't carrying that much in the way of explosives. And the other thing it doesn't say is none of the planes actually returned at all. The plan was that they would drop their bombs and fly on, I think it was British bases actually in China or something. And a few of them actually got shot down. And the other thing it didn't say is some of those who actually got shot down got executed, beheaded for war crimes, which is one of those interesting things about war crimes is they're usually only committed when you don't think you're going to be held accountable for them. So what you usually find is nations that don't think they can lose are the ones who commit war crimes, which is really having a single superpower is a bad, let's just say it tests the strength of your character. Okay, this is approaching Hornet, who's obviously since been heavily upgraded, served well beyond World War II. Flags. So, $14. Closes at 4. Recovered the Apollo 11 astronauts. There you go. That's the sort of picture I wanted. Wooden decks. Didn't have an armoured deck on it, I don't think. I might have done later, but we'll see. Oh, there we go. Most of this was the Marianas Turkey shoot, where basically the Japanese sent absolutely hordes of noobs against it was a turkey shoot, and something like 300 planes or something. Oh no, this is the Yamato. Oh no, that's okay. It's got 40. This was the largest battleship ever, the Yamato, and that was another one of these things where the Japanese basically sent it out on a suicide mission. So, okay, this is just to give you some feel of the space on the hangar deck, and this is about 3 inches of armour below my feet, which by battleship standards was peanuts. They typically carried 18 inches of armour, especially around the protected areas. This is quite fun. This is where the cannons would have gone. So they weren't softies, right? So this is a door that seals on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. And if you actually, there you go, locks out. Watertight. Bad luck if you're on the wrong side of it, of course. Okay, this fearsome looking beastie here is the F-14. And if you look down the intake, you get to see his big ass jet turbine in there. And if you come around, you get to see, I'm not quite sure what sort of missile this is. Probably is a range, I don't know, a couple of miles, 3 miles, something like that. Does anyone tell you what it is? Okay, I don't know what it is, but I think these actually work in pairs. So these are for the guidance. Guidance is on the front, so you have a little camera in the front there, and that guides the fins. And on the back here, you have these boys, who I'm guessing are gyro stabilizers. Yeah, okay. So these, when you're going through the air, spin, and they got lots of weight to them. So I'm guessing these are the gyro stabilizers. And I'm not so sure about what happens on the back there, but so yeah, you got these on each fin, and then of course the tail is the big ass control surface on these things that makes them so maneuverable, and it's double control surfaces for everything. So you've got two of the big ass tail things that move up and down, and you've got big ass twin rudders, and they've got ailerons as well. So, and if you look down the back, I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I think this is the afterburner. I think this is where you just inject fuel directly into the exhaust for the afterburner. Again, I'm not an expert on these things. I could very, very well be wrong. And then of course you've got this guy who's the arrestor hook. So yeah, and it kind of looks looking at it from the back, it kind of looks like one of those rays, you know. And I'm guessing the big ass thing down the middle is an extra fuel thing, but so F-14, beware of blast. Yeah, I'm sure, especially if that's nicely made out of wood. I don't know what this guy is. Oh, pull to arm. I'm not even going to try that. But again, big ass fins on the front. Does this one have moving ones on the back? No. That's bizarre. Okay, anyway, the other interesting thing about this carrier is wooden deck. It's an unarmoured deck, so it's just like felted over. Other than that, it's just a hardwood deck. And that was basically to keep the weight down, such that in the rough seas they didn't topple over. But it did actually make them rather vulnerable to bombs and the such like, in that one bomb hit anywhere on here and the carrier was basically out of commission. And this is the view from the island, the aircraft carrier. So over the front there we have our F-14. I'll have to go over the other side to see it. So there's our F-14, people fiddling with the weapons, and there's the angled landing strip, and over the front there is the catapult launcher. So this is where they set speed on the bridge. That's the wheel, rather polished, and okay, so I leave behind the the Hornet. And I have to say, given my cynical words when I got here, that was actually pretty tastefully done for the other one of these I've been on is the Missouri in Philadelphia, and that was let's just say twinged with patriotism, which sort of undermines undermines these things if they're biased. So, but that was really very well done. It turns out I was actually wrong. The original Hornet was actually sunk. The one that did the Doolittle raid was actually sunk in World War II, and this one was commissioned during World War II, so they renamed it Hornet. And those little portholes on the front there is the battle bridge. So basically, if the island gets destroyed, that's the second comm that takes over control of the ship. But yeah, USS Hornet, fantastic. Well worth the $14.